On hearing that, I ask that we would someone make a motion to approve the financial reports and monthly disbursements. Yes, I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Committee reports, Director Tom's not here today. Design, Barry?
So my committee report's in the packet. I don't really have much to add that's not in the minutes, but I will say, as far as progress goes, on the banners for downtown, there's actually a sample banner up in front of Boyer Agency. So if you want to see what they're going to look like. Now, don't just drive by. They're meant for pedestrians. So there's like, on one side, there's like a history of the building. So it's meant to really kind of be interactive for pedestrians. So I've got bids out for all the rest of the banners are due tomorrow. And then hopefully we'll get them by Memorial Day. So.
Anything else?
We did, since our last meeting, also, we did our first walkthrough with DPW in the district. It's still a little bit early because nothing's really greened up, although it's starting to now. Our contract says we'll be doing that monthly. Hopefully we'll actually follow through on that. But overall, I think very constructive walkthrough, and we're building a good relationship with DPW.
And just to add to that, some stuff has already been done since that meeting. I've noticed that some stuff that we talked about. So,
Good. Yeah, Kyle and I were from the design committee on that.
with Mickey McCann.
Yep.
And actually, since then, Mickey also sent me a picture of several pallets of leftover papers.
Oh, so
that
there are
were-
some.
There's a fair amount, actually. Some had been given away years ago, but they were the ones that were pulled out of the crosswalks.
Okay.
So we do have some inventory there.
Because that is one of the things that is slated to be in our budget for next year is some sidewalk paper repairs. And not knowing if we had spares was.
Yeah. Resetting and
That's
repairs.
good.
Yep.
Any questions for design committee? Okay. Yes.
Business development?
I apologize that there's not anything in the packet. We did meet on Friday, and our primary focus was to talk about Spark. We've gotten some feedback about doing the events separate of doing Hops and Props, because we're doing those events for the year from Carrie Major, and we also got some feedback from I'm going to say sorry, that it would be better if we did the event like in January, so that business owners
Jamie.
What? Yeah, Jamie, thank you.
The prior winner of the
Yes,
Spark.
yeah, she's on my committee now, and she said, you know, it'd be really nice if we did it in January, because then people would have 3 months to prepare, which she thought it would take at least 3 months to get going based on her experience. So we have set a tentative date for Saturday, January 25th, and have a place to have that to be a room reserved at the Manistee again, tentatively, so they're holding it for us. So we had a productive meeting and got more volunteers from people, so we're on track. And hopefully that'll help get our new executive director more involved too. Time to get some other things completed before we get too deep into it. That's it.
Cool.
Any other questions? Perfect, thank you.
Redevelopment, he can't be here today. Recruitment, we're having a meet and greet Thursday, tomorrow, from 6 to 7:30 at the brewery. And then we have a special meeting on April 14th, excuse me, May 14th, 8 o'clock, to approve that hire, and then it will go on city council on the 21st. And the hiring committee, well, Val and I, from when Tyler was hired, already have like a 3, 6, 9 a month plan and goals and objectives for the director. We'll fine tune those for the new position, and we'll share that at the special meeting. So there's a special meeting May 14th at 8 o'clock. Economic development, Karen's not here.
The only thing I might mention is that I understand that Stacy at work is going to give us an update of the June meeting.
Yes.
I'm over it on the phone.
Tim? Tom's not here. Barry, do you have anything on that?
There's a set of edits going back and forth between the committee and our consultant. We have had two TIF committee meetings, I think it's probably since our last board meeting, where we basically did more cleanup. There was a discrepancy in one place in the agreement. It talked about it being 30 years, and another place 20 years. So some of the numbers we were calculating were based on a 20-year lifespan, others were 30. So we had to go through and clean up some of those things. But I believe, I don't know where that final version stands, but I believe when Tom gets back, that should be wrapped up, and then we can continue the next steps. And I would say the biggest remaining outstanding item is the agreement between the DDA and the city on services and fees for those. We have basically the current amount that we're contributing as a placeholder in that document, but until we get that ironed out, I think that'll be the last hurdle in getting approved.
Events, Karen's not here. Rising Tide, Barry, where is that?
We haven't had a steering committee meeting since our last board meeting. That is next week. So I don't really have anything to update on, because nothing has come to my attention until that next steering committee meeting.
I don't know if any of us are aware of, I know many of us know that Joe is part of his funding. And he had mentioned to me that it would be 2 weeks when he would be giving his recommendation.
I could probably help.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah, Lizette probably knows.
Yeah, so just a quick update that Barry mentioned it, and I mentioned it to you, Rachel. So a week or so ago, with them, Leonard from MEDC, will be asking for additional information to submit a request for funding for facades for the downtown. I worked with Barry with that and kind of looking at the application that Tyler had submitted, and then we added any other potential building that might take advantage from additional funds for facade. I took a shot for $100,000. It's just a shot. She was like, "This is what we might have, so we submit the request." I talked to him yesterday about it. He said he's still working on it, and then he'll let me know, what the position will be. I've met obviously this job with developers, and they're interested in knowing whether or not there's additional support for facade improvements. And I know you already have funding for it, but the more funding available, the more attractive our downtown looks. So I have no news on that yet, but as soon as he lets me know, I'll be able to get back to all of you. And then Rachel, you asked me a question of the Alex building and other, organizations here in the downtown that were interested in that, and everybody that was already included in the original proposal is in there, and then I just added any other building that could take the help, really.
And just to be clear, the original proposal is basically the same program a year ago Tyler had applied. We didn't score well enough to receive the grant. But it came up again this year, so was that basically just packaged and updated some things and basically resubmitted, so.
And then about Joe, we talked, I think sometime either Friday or Monday, because a lot of people have been asking me when is he scheduled to come back. Because there's a few people he didn't get the chance to talk to in his last visit. too, because people are kind of looking to know, when is going to be the drop of the economic development strategy. He said he was looking to be done before, by the last week of May. Pushing it should be within the first week of June, but once I know more, I'll be happy to just shoot you an email and let everybody know what he tells me. So for now, in my calendar is marked till the last week of May, but if that changes, I'll let you guys know.
Could I ask how that would be communicated?
Well, so it's supposed to be, I talked to him because many communities do a public meeting, some communities don't, and for this rising tide round, we're trying to keep it consistent to whatever the other communities are doing, and it's working in Eaton Rapids and here in Ionia, so I'm kind of waiting to know what's going to be the whole rising tide approach and all the other ones to know whether we'll do a public one or just kind of work one-on-one with each board and organization, and I don't know. I'll tell you next week or something once I figure it out. Yeah.
Just curious.
Any other questions? Oh, I have another thing to bring up, I'm sorry. So I presented the idea of a mural to the Historic District Commission, I think it was yesterday or Monday, I don't remember where, it was Monday afternoon. I didn't present a plan or anything, it was just entertaining the idea, seeing if they were open to it. They told me that they were open to the idea as long as I can get a board or organization willing to look at the mural once, a few years have passed to look how it looks. So once I have a plan, you will probably hear from me making a proposal of we got this mural at this location, would you guys be willing to revisit it once a few years have passed to make sure it doesn't.
Did you ask about a specific location or just the idea?
I did. So there's the building, I don't know the address by heart, but the building that's right across the Bluefish, the one that's for sale, it has that auto owner's sign. I talked to the property owner and he's more than willing to have it painted up there. Again, I told him I don't have any idea what we'll do. I want it to be a community project tied to the 150th anniversary of the city and make something, attractive and colorful and nice, but there's no plan just yet. And then the Historic District Commission just said that I gotta make sure that obviously the property owner was up for it, that the DDA was okay with it, and then have a, contingency plan, a few years later of if it's fading, who's gonna repaint it and who would be willing to take a look at it. So that'll come sometime soon, in the next month or two. Any other questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Old business, none. New business, none. Public comment?
I have just something to say. Next, the 14th, our work session, we're going to be talking about discussing DDA on expectations that come from the meeting we had. So just to be aware, try to attend. We'd appreciate it if you attended. Also, I had something about the bylaws. So we ever entertained, started changing the bylaws to match state law.
We're not able to meet yet, so we'll, hopefully have a recommendation next month.
I'm curious, what specific topics is council looking to talk about?
This comes from the meeting that we had, the person that was here to talk about all the things that we can do, the facilitator, I can't remember her name.
Oh, okay.
I know where she's from. She lives where I used to live. but-
So from the facilitator for our strategic planning?
Right, that's where
Okay.
it comes from.
Okay.
Rachel, one other thing the mayor forgot is last night, the council tabled action on the DDA budget. It's going to be on the work session, which will be on the 14th, and also on the council's agenda for the 21st.
So what were the two things, the 14th, there's a work session, a council work session on the 14th.
Right.
At what time? 7. And then our special meeting is at 8 a.m.
April 4th, excuse me.
May
May
14th.
14th at 8 a.m.
Okay, I will not be here for that.
Okay, then we may have to change it. So, okay. Any more public comment?
I do have one thing.
Uh-huh.
The charter, the filer DDA is in the process of wrapping up a retail feasibility study, and they're having a presentation on it June 3rd, and they wanted to invite our board to, see that work.
Say the
So
date again.
I've got flyers
Oh,
here.
Do you have enough?
I have enough.
Oh, great.
So we are invited to attend this.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?